Hi, this is Mrs. Robertson, and today we are going to be doing Lesson 3, Multiplying Decimals by Whole Numbers. This is located on page 193, and this is Chapter 3, Lesson 3, page 193. In the Real World link, it says, bamboo is one of the fastest growing plants. It can grow about 4 9/10 feet in height per day. It is a favorite food of panda bears. You can use repeated addition to find the total height of a bamboo plant can grow. The height of a bamboo plant can grow over a number of days. Complete the table below. The first one is done for you. Okay, on the next one, number of days 3, well, you're just going to add it 3 times. So put 4 9/10 plus 4 9/10 plus 4 9/10. And that will equal, I'm going to tell you kids, it's 14.7. And if you were going to do a multiplication problem, you would take 3 times 4 9/10, and that equals 14 7/10. Let's continue to complete the chart. In this one, 4 9/10, 4 9/10, 4 9/10, 4 9/10. Well, if I have 4 9/10 to 14 7/10, I will get 19 6/10. So 4 times 4 9/10 is 19 6/10. Now, let's show it one more time. This time we will write it down 5 times. So if I have 4 9/10 to 19 6/10, decimal point, you have 24 5/10. So 5 times that will give you 24 5/10. Now it says use the pattern in the table to predict what 6 times 4 9/10 is. Well, I would, for a prediction, 4 9/10 is close to 5, and 6 times 5 will be close to 30. All right, and when you actually do it, the actual answer is 29 4/10, and 29 4/10 is very close to 30. Now we're going to go on to page 194 and talk about the specifics for multiplying decimals. How many of you have been, last year in 5th grade, you learned how to multiply decimals? Did you practice this? Some of you, okay, about a fourth of you did. That's good. So let's go ahead and look at what we have here. It says using repeated addition can help you place the decimal point. The whole number represents the number of times the decimal is used as an addition. So place the decimal point in the product the same number of places from the right as the decimal factor. And I'm going to talk to you about that in a little bit. So we all know that 4 times 83 hundredths means 83 hundredths plus 83 hundredths plus 83 hundredths plus 83 hundredths, or 4 groups of 83 hundredths. Now, this is how you multiply it. You multiply like there are no decimal points in the problem, kids. 4 times 3 is 12. Put down a 2, carry a 1. 4 times 8 is 32, plus 1 is 33. Then you say to yourself, I'm done. Now I have to put the decimal point in. I have a decimal point. How many numbers are behind the decimal point in the problem? 1, 2. So in your answer, which is the product, how many numbers have to be behind the decimal point? 2. So you look, 2 in the problem, 2 in the answer. Any questions? Multiply like you normally do, count your decimal points, and then place it. Here, 3 times 14 2/10. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. Put down a 2, carry a 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. How many numbers are behind the decimal point in the problem? 1. So in the product, or the answer, you will have one number behind the decimal point. 3 groups of 14 and 2/10 will give you 42 and 6/10. Now let's do number 3, and we're going to fill in the boxes. If you were estimating it, you would take 4 times 1. 95 hundredths is close to 1, and 4 times 1 is 4. All right, so here they want us to put, we have 4, okay, in this example number 3, when you add all 3 of those, or all 4 of those together, you're going to get 3.80, kids. So put that in the box. 95 hundredths plus 95 hundredths plus 95 hundredths plus 95 hundredths will give you 3 and 80 hundredths. So we have 4 groups of 95 hundredths. Okay, so now let's multiply. 4 times 5 is 20. Put down a 0 and you carry a 2. The boxes are just a little confusing, I think, at first. I'll be honest, I was looking at my answer key to see what they wanted me to put in these boxes. It's like, wait a minute, what am I doing here? So, now let's continue. 4 times 9 is 36, plus 2 is 38. Put down an 8 and you carry a 3. 4 times 0 is 0, plus 3 is 3. Now, how many numbers live behind the decimal point in the problem? There's the decimal point. 2 has 2 decimal places. Place the decimal point 2 places from the right. 1, 2, and it's going to go right there. So put it in there. So check for reasonableness. Is 3.80 close to 4? Yes, it is. Now, if you would, in here, if you wanted to put 3 and 8/10, that's the same thing as 3 and 80 hundredths. All right, kids, let's do these together at the bottom. I think there's barely enough room for us to show our work. I always put the number with the most digits on top. So this has the most digits. I'm going to put it on top. Okay? So 0.25 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25, carry a 2. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12, put down a 2, carry a 1. 5 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. Now, how many numbers are behind the decimal point in the problem, class? 2, very nice. So in our product, the answer is 1 and 25 hundredths. Put that on your answer blank. Any questions? Great. Okay, in letter B, I'm going to put 4 and 47 hundredths, excuse me. There we go. 4 and 47 hundredths is my first number, times 8. Here we go. 8 times 7 is 56. Put down a 6, carry a 5. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 5 is 37. Put down a 7, carry a 3. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 3 is 35. How many numbers are behind the decimal point in the problem? 2. So the answer is 35 and 76 hundredths. Write that down in your book. Make sure you're writing these things down, everyone. Okay, please put your things, if you have like little note cards out or doing something for another class, put it away for right now. This is really important. If you have to do something in another class, let me know. And if we have time, I can allow you to do it if it's very important. But right now, I want you to know this. 2 and 63 hundredths times 9. 9 times 3 is 27. Carry a 2. 9 times 6 is 54. Plus 2 is 56. 9 times 2 is 18. Plus 5 is 18. 23? Yeah. How many numbers are behind the decimal point in the problem? 2. 23 and 67 hundredths. Any questions? All right, let's go on to the next page. Annex zeros in the product. Another word for annex means to add. Okay, add zeros, or put. Maybe put is better than add. Put zeros in the product, okay? Add or put. If there are not enough decimal places in the product, you need to annex or add or put zeros to the left. To annex a zero means to place a zero at the beginning or end of a decimal. Okay, let's all do this problem. Instead of just doing what they did at the bottom, let's just rewrite the whole problem. Okay, put this number on top because it has the most digits. 0.018 times 2. Does everyone have that written down? Great. Now let's multiply. 2 times 8 is 16. Carry a 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Now you can stop multiplying right there because you don't have to multiply by those zeros. All right, let's say you just stopped because you thought, I don't have to multiply by zeros. Then you count. How many numbers are behind the decimal point? 1, 2, 3. So in my answer, I have to have 1, 2, 3. What do I put on the empty blank? A 0. So the answer is 36 thousandths, all right, which is what they have here. And so they usually like for you to put the 0, no whole number, and 36 thousandths. Okay, we're going to skip that part. I'm going to skip number 5. Let's just go right on down to letter D. Okay, let's just practice these. Here, oh kids, you could do this one in your head. What's 3 times 2? 6. How many numbers are behind the decimal point in the problem? 2. So I have to have 1, 2. Now, a careless mistake that kids make is they put the 0 behind the 6 instead of it. Just remember, you make your little things 1, 2, and then you put your decimal point. All right, start from the back end. All right, 0 and 12 hundredths times 8. 8 times 2 is 16, carry a 1. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9. How many numbers are behind the decimal point? 2, so it's 96 hundredths, 0 and 96 hundredths. Okay, in this problem, 0 and 45 thousandths times an 11. 5, 4. If you want to, you can multiply it times the zeros if that helps you. Now, when I multiply by the second one, it has one number behind it. I call it a place value 0. I put an X in my 0 so I know it's a place value 0. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 4 is 4. 0. Now, add them together. 5, 9, 4, 0. How many numbers are behind the decimal point in the problem? 1, 2, 3. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 495 thousandths. Any questions? All right, let's go to page 196. Here we have a word problem. A batch of trail mix calls for 1 and 2 tenths. They like trail mix. We were doing this yesterday, and I still don't think they're putting chocolate in their trail mix. This one looks like chocolate. No, those look like raisins. No, but if you look, it also has. Oh, it does have a few. Thank goodness. I like chocolate in mine. Anyway, 1 and 2 pounds of dry cereal. Nigella, I'm not sure how to say your name, is making 5 batches of trail mix. She already has 2 and 2/10 pounds of cereal. How many more pounds of dry cereal does she need? Well, she's making 5 batches. So you're going to take 1 and 2/10 times 5, and the answer is 6. Then we have to subtract how much does she have. She has 2 and 2/10. she needs 3 8/10 more pounds of dry cereal. Okay, so you multiply first and then you have to subtract. Now let's go on and do these problems on our guided practice together. Make sure you show all of the work on these problems. Okay, I'm going to walk around the room, put it on pause to make sure you're doing what you're. Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and put down the problems and the answers. Whoops, it goes there, not there. Carry a 4, 12 and 4 is 16. And one number is behind the decimal point. You should have 16 2/10 for number 1. Number 2. Two numbers behind the decimal point. 1 56/100 is the answer for that one. 5 times 9 is 45. How many numbers are behind the decimal point? 2. 45/100. 0 and 45/100. This problem here, well, some of you I know can do this without writing it down, but I want to show everyone the steps for writing it down. 8, carry a 2, or wait, yeah, 20. 8 plus 2 is 10. And there are 1, 2, 3 numbers behind the decimal point. 1, 2, 3. 0 and 108 thousandths. 0.071 times 8. 56, carry a 5, 0. 5, 6, 8. There are 3 numbers behind the decimal point. So it goes right here. 0 and 568 thousandths. And this one, let's make sure you did this one carefully. It wasn't there. Okay, so let's write, you need to be writing all these down. 0 and 65 thousandths times 18. 8 times 5 is 40. Carry a 4. 6 times 8 is 48. Plus 4 is 52. 0 plus 5 is 5. Now I'm going to multiply by the 1. There is one number behind it, so I put down one place value 0. Now I multiply. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 6 is 6. Add them together. 0, 7, and that's an 11. How many numbers are behind the decimal point in the problem? 1, 2, 3. And here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 170 thousandths. Any questions? Everyone do okay on this? Thumbs up? Okay, let's go on to the bumblebee. Or it's a bee hummingbird, not a bumblebee. A bee hummingbird has a mass of 1 8/10 grams. How many grams are 6 hummingbirds and a 4-gram nest? Well, we're going to take 6 times 1 8/10. That will tell us how much the hummingbirds weigh. 48, carry a 4, 6 plus 4 is 10. How many numbers are behind the decimal point? 1. So the hummingbirds weigh 10.8 grams, but we're not finished. How much does the nest weigh? 4 grams, so we have to add it. 10.8 plus the nest is 4, it goes under the 10, 14 8/10 grams. Any questions on how to do that problem, kids? Everyone's pretty good with that? Okay, let's look at number 8. Justin buys 12 pencils for 56 cents each. He pays with a $10 bill. How much change will he receive? What's the first step we're going to do? I'm reading your minds. Yes, multiplying. That's what we'll do. So it doesn't matter if you put the 12 or the 56 on top. I'm going to put the 56 on top times 12. 2 times 6 is 12. Carry a 1. 10 plus 1 is 11. 1 place value 0 because there's one number behind the 1. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 5 is 5. Add them together. How many numbers are behind the decimal point in the problem? 2, 1, 2. So now what's my second step? The pencils are going to be $6.72. Brandon, what do I have to do to find out how much change he will receive? If you have a $10 bill, how much money are they going to give you back? What do I do? Do I add $6.72 to $10? No. Yeah, if you buy something, yes. You subtract. That's right. So it's $10. It was so easy, it made it hard. Minus 6.72. Now, what do I do above the 7 and the 2? We have to add a decimal point, don't we? Yes. A decimal point and 2 zeros. Now let's borrow from the 10. It turns into a 9. That turns into a 10. Borrow from the 10. It turns into a 9, so that can be a 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 7 is 2. A decimal point. 9 minus 6 is 3. How much change should he get back? $3.28. It says, our essential question, how can estimating products help you place the decimal correctly? Well, yes.
If it's 328, I would make it 11.
It's not 328? I think it is. Let me double check. 10 minus 2 is 8. Okay. Yeah, I went back and double checked. But thank you for checking. I never know for sure. Okay, for the essential question, it helps for you to determine the greatest place value, and you can check for reasonableness. A lot of times whenever you're shopping, it's always nice to estimate on those things. Now, you are wondering, what will our homework be? In my class today, your homework is going to be page 197, and we are going to do all 10. Okay, and that's for page 197. You're doing 1 to 10 all. On page 198, I would like for you to do number 14. It's not that hard. Number 14, I like that problem, so do number 14. And then on page 199, I would like for you to do 17 to 26, which is, you don't have to do 17, it's done for you, 18 to 26, okay? And you have about 12 minutes to get going on this, so let's get going. You can get a lot of these finished.